thought for Tuesday, coming out of that game and the emotions of the game, I thought our energy was really good today. I thought the guys were really flying around. They practiced hard. It was a typical Tuesday from a game plan standpoint in that there's plenty of stuff for us to go clean up now in our evening meetings and then to get ready for tomorrow's practice. But all in all, I was pleased with their effort, their enthusiasm, their energy coming out on a Tuesday, knowing it was going to be a little bit warm, knowing it was going to be a little bit of a longer, more physical practice. I thought the guys responded well. And there were some real key areas for us to focus on, improve upon, and I thought the guys took to that. Nobody took the hard coaching the wrong way. They understand that we have to improve and we have to get better, and I thought that showed up. Obviously Leonard, we limited today, but he really came out of the game in great shape, which was positive. Cody obviously was back full go again today. The only real injury stuff was John Plattenberg kind of strained his Achilles. It's not serious, but he strained his Achilles. So all in all, health-wise, it was positive. Coming out of that game against a Stanford team, that's always one of your concerns. Is it's such a physical game that you can get nicked up, but we came out of it pretty healthy.
See, for those who might not know, what's your relationship like with Pat, and what's Pat's relationship with the team? It seems closer than it would be just because of his history with the program.
Well, I think Pat's relationship with the team is unique because of the scenarios of everything that occurred last season. And I think that Pat made it a point through all of the changes to really let the team know that he was there with them. And that's a credit to Pat. Not a lot of athletic directors do that. And I think that's just continued on now that I've come on board. Pat and I have a great relationship. Our relationship goes back many years. And one that we count on one another, we trust one another, and that's exactly the type of relationship you like to have with your athletic director.
As long as you've been around football, not just at the collegiate level, but pros, back-to-back road games, especially when that second one's East Coast, can present fatigue issues. What do you kind of try to do to avoid that?
Well, I thought our training staff and our strength and conditioning staff did a really good job Sunday and Monday from a recovery standpoint. That's really key. Those first 48 hours are key of taking care of our bodies, that we're getting proper sleep. We're fortunate that game with Stanford was early. It was 12:30. It wasn't a night game. The recovery piece is big. And then obviously the travel time headed to Boston. So we'll travel Thursday to make sure that we're getting quality rest on Friday. And fortunately, the second end of this one is a night game. We're not playing till 8 o'clock, so, East Coast time Saturday night. So we should have plenty of rest, and we should be ready to go.
A lot of these kids haven't been to Boston. There's so much history. Do you just avoid that, say, hey, it's all football?
Yeah, they can go on a vacation later. This is a business trip. We're going there to win the game, and that'll be our focus. Obviously we'll have a little bit more time on our hands because we're going Thursday as opposed to Friday. So they get to go to a movie Friday, but we're not going to check out any of the sites.
What is your plan as far as the middle linebacker position goes with Hayes having to sit out? How is that?
Well, Michael Hutchings will step right in just as he did in the game, and he'll start at that position next to Anthony Sorrow. We feel also very good about Olajuwon Tucker, a true freshman, and how he's developed at that position. So we still feel like we've got a quality two deep. If we got into a real bind, Anthony Sorrow can slide over to that position as well. So we feel okay.
So Hayes will work with the twos, I guess, during the week,
for the most part,
warm up at halftime kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I've never dealt with this before. I got to be honest with you. So I don't know if he's allowed to warm up in pregame with us or not. I don't know if he's allowed to be on the sidelines in the first half or not. I haven't asked those questions at the conference yet. So, like I said, I've never had to deal with it. But whatever we can do and whatever Hayes can do, we'll do and have him ready to go for the second half.
How far along have you trained that in?
I think he's a lot further along than where he was 2.5 weeks ago. He's not 100%. And as I said after the game, when you have a turf toe and you're a running back, I'm hopeful we can get through this game, get through the bye, and then get him ready to go for Oregon State so that thing's not lingering. Because there's nothing worse than being a guy who has to make those hard cuts, especially in tight quarters, and you don't have confidence in your toe, or there's that sharp pain in your toe from making those cuts. So I'd like to get that thing fully recovered and get him back going, because we're going to need him here for conference play.
Is there any optimism that Lamar Dawson can be back after the bye, or are you really just taking it day by day at this point?
Really taking it day by day. You know, we're following the lead from our medical staff. We're following Lamar's lead. You know, he's the one that knows his body better than anybody. We're hopefully in the bye week we can get more out of him, which we'll really focus on a lot of our players, developmental players, which really he's one of those guys when you're coming off of an injury. So see how far along he is next week when we're in the bye week.
Is Leonard going to practice this week?
I would imagine so, yes.
How have you managed the offensive line from a sense of all that youth there, knowing that guys are going to make mistakes, but knowing that you got a lot of talent there as well?
Well, I think that we've tried to. I don't want to say just keep it simple, but we've tried not to put too much on their plate where they're thinking too much at the line of scrimmage. We're trying to allow them to play to their strengths. So some of our protection schemes, some of our run schemes are again, I don't want to say simplistic, but we're utilizing the same schemes. We're just trying to mask those schemes with different formations and different personnel groupings so that they're continually doing the things that they do well. At some point, we're going to have to start to expand some. But again, I'm really been impressed with the 3 true freshmen and their ability to go in and play. They've seen a lot of defense. And, Fresno threw a bunch of stuff at them. Stanford, as we all well know, is really talented up front defensively, and they're well coached, so they got a lot from them as well. So this has been a good start for them for all the things that they've seen. But again, we need to improve. We need to keep trying to get better at that position so that ultimately we can expand our offense and keep doing more.
Do one more.
Does it bother you at all that all the stuff that's kind of been happening off the field is taking some of the attention away from the players and the good start that they've had?
Not at all. Inside our walls, inside our practice field, they get plenty of attention, and they know what's important. And our coaches do a great job of praising the guys that deserve the praise, coaching the guys that need to be coached, developing players, and so. The unique thing is, I don't know how much our guys, I think they're just so accustomed to not listening to what's going on outside, which is a great trait. I said this a couple weeks ago, the goal for us and what we continue to preach is that we'll never be motivated by outside factors, and we should never be distracted by outside factors. And to do that, you have to get put in position to have to deal with things. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we've had to deal with quite a bit of stuff here so far, and our guys have handled it really, really well. And it's a credit to the leaders on the team and their ability to deal with it, and then to help the younger players deal with it. And I think it's really shown. I think our guys have been very well focused. I think you guys watch us practice every day. We come out ready to practice, ready to go. They work hard. They're a humble group, and they're excited for another opportunity to play on Saturday.